Who is your daddy and what does he do?
With me? Don't with me? You're a quiet boy compared to me.
Greetings, movie fans, and you're all very welcome to an especially special episode of the Big Reviewski with Omniplex Cinemas and my Omnipass. My name is Owen Doherty. This is my esteemed colleague, Rory Cashin, and I know I say it's a really special episode every week, but it's actually an unbelievably
But it's pretty special to be in this chair.
I feel...
Because normally I would be facing you to have a proper argument, and I feel...
taller than me as well.
I sure am.
That's unfortunate.
You only just realised that now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I know we've had Brad Pitt on the show, Margot Robbie, Julia Roberts, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, you know, phenomenal, huge global stars.
But B-list.
B-list compared to the two guys that we've got on the show today who, in their own words, are here to fertilize the nerds on the Big Reviewski. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, so please welcome to the studio the guy with jeans that are tighter than the wallet of a Hollywood fat cat producer and arms that are longer than Avatar's run at the top of the international box office charts. Of course, it's Barry Murphy and Andrew Trimble. Woo!
Oh, what an intro.
What an intro.
These guys are pros.
We've got people holding up giant cards at the back, like frantically.
Who are
I
these
thought you were going to wear
lads?
skinnier. The whole intro was about how
These
skinny
aren't
your
jeans
jeans
either.
are.
These are like from a basket that I had at home that my wife broke and knitted them onto my pants or to my legs.
Are they actually made out of basket?
Yeah, I think so. They kind of
They
feel
do
like
quite
they're
baskety.
I feel like I should...
Basket pants.
Basket pants. That works.
Nice.
So I should rewrite the entire intro. No jeans, just basket stuff. So you two lads, obviously, you're very welcome to the Big
Thank you
Reviewski
for having
studio.
us on. We're delighted to be here.
Because people will probably, well, obviously they know you from your international careers, your club careers, escapades, your music career as well. Because obviously, one part of Hermitage Green.
Yes.
Are you in any
1/5.
bands, Andrew?
No.
He was.
Okay.
You were?
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Was it S Club 7 or?
We were,
He wishes it was S Club.
no, we weren't as really friendly as S Club 7. We were really, really poor. We played the Town Hall in Coleraine when we were 15.
I might have gone to that gig as well, possibly. Who knows?
And we might have got like 30 or 40 people there. And that was us. That was our pinnacle.
You went out now.
We dropped off from that.
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah. Actually, at that gig, there was a policeman came into the town hall, and then Dan, our bassist, goes, "Does anybody smell bacon?"
on the microphone.
Into the mic.
And we got
Rock and roll.
Yeah, we were mad.
Shut down.
Baz doesn't even do that at his gigs. No way.
Like NWA.
We got a complaint from the police, and we had to write them a letter, an apology letter. Honestly, yeah.
That's way more.
Korean
badass.
police taking themselves so seriously, and they
So you're aiming for a gig as cool as that at some
Yeah.
point in your career.
Yeah. Just
stick with me, mate. No, you'll get there.
Of course, people now know you as the hosts of Baz and Andrew's House of Rugby,
that's correct.
everyone's second favourite show.
Absolutely.
Here, Max and
Us,
Sean.
us included.
After the GA, after the GA, which is by far the most popular.
On Baz and Andrew's House of Rugby, I think I've made a routine of saying we know nothing about rugby, but we know a bit about movies. And then
I've watched it.
It's
yeah,
like Joe just turned around and said, "Oh, you do you?"
Yeah.
Let's see about that. So they're calling our bluff. They just put us on this show to show that we know nothing about rugby and nothing about movies. So
Yeah. So every week we loosely try and draw a comparison between what's relevant in the movie theatre that week and rugby. Like last week we took It, Chapter 2, and tried to make it into the fears that those adults go back and approach or trying to address to get over the fears that they had as a kid. Could be something similar to what the Irish team are going through at the moment, going to the World Cup. Everyone fears that they're too small and they're not big enough now to beat England or South Africa, so they need to confront those fears and tell the clown that he might be big, but he's still a clown.
Who's in the clown outfit? Which of the England players is it in the?
I think Eddie Jones did.
Eddie Jones
yes.
is dressed as the clown. Okay.
I liked him.
But then, do you know the way Pennywise can
suppose.
manifest and go into different things? So,
Yeah.
like, he'll become too laggy, and you're just like, you're too big, or whatever. I'll just move around you. Do you know what I mean? And
Gotcha. It's the perfect mix. Whoever thought rugby and movies would ever not go together?
Yeah.
The full.
it's a stretch.
No,
I'll
it's
tell you.
such an
carving it
easy, natural coming together of the two things. But yeah, so we're going to be calling this show, what do we call it? The Big House of Reviewski?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
For something like that. And of course, we got the Rugby World Cup kicking off this coming weekend as well. Ireland are obviously going to win the entire thing. So, sorted?
Fact. Yes.
Fact,
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An unlikely
I heard it in House of, I heard it in House of Rugby first, and then we're just repeating it here as well. But so if you'd like to get in touch with the Big Reviewski, you can tweet us at Big Reviewski. You can also get in touch on Instagram, and if anyone wants to subscribe and follow House of Rugby, they can just do that where? Everywhere? Twitter, Instagram, all the
We don't
usual?
know.
We don't know. That's
We keep saying it, but we don't know how to do it.
it's
but-
out in the internet somewhere.
exactly.
Okay.
Poke us.
Well, you've loads of followers on Twitter, actually, Andrew, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because I got started very early.
Okay.
I've got 100,000 followers on Twitter.
Unbelievable.
Got myself a blue tick. This guy here.
Baz,
He keeps
how many do
promising
you
me
have?
the. I don't know how many have I got. He keeps promising me blue tick.
It's around
but-
7,000 we look because we're going to need Andrew to retweet the show. Basically, that's what we're looking for here. Yeah, pretty
Using
much.
me.
We'll send you the link directly. We always kick off the show with the big question, and for this week's big question, it's over to a very special guest, Baz Murphy. So this is you were asking all of us a very particular question this week.
Yeah, so my big question this week is, if you could be a character in a movie, any movie of all time, what character would you be and why?
This was not easy.
This was a very, very, very tough one. Every so often you get questions and it's just boom, know the answer straight away. I had a list of characters
you
that I
went
wanted to
through
be here. Yeah, so I
Well,
had
you can
to-
give your list and then settle on one.
Yeah,
Oh,
honourable mentions.
See,
well,
I have
Roy
a
has
hard
a
and fast
rule.
rule, and it's called the own rule, where we have a question, and it has an answer, and I want to be like, well, I'll start listing them off, and I'll be like, this one, and this one, and this one. He cheats his way around answering
Cheat
the
this.
question by giving more than one. So hard and fast, just one.
You don't use the cheat word around, elite athletes. That's not a thing that
I'm
we
just saying, I'll be testing to make sure no one is cheating on the show.
for movie knowledge.
That's why we had to take a pee in before.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons. So what did you go for, Baz? Lead
I
by
went
example.
for one of my favorite movies of all time, and look, it's an obvious one, but it's Jaws. I know a lot of people would give that answer, and my favorite character is Robert Shaw's Quint. I find. Do I explain this now? Do you want to?
You can not tell us why
explain?
you would want to be Quint.
Okay, well, that film affected me massively as a kid. Like, I watched it when I was way too young, like I'd say most of us did, and I would not go in the water for years. I went to my J1 to Cape Cod, and I would not get in the water at 20 years of age because it was made on Nantucket, which is just off Cape Cod, and it was because of that movie. Now, I got over it. I love the water now, but the beauty, I think, in Jaws for me is especially when the three of them are out in the boat on their own, when I watch films, sometimes I get weird and I start thinking about the camera crew around the scene, or the actors are acting or something like that. But in that scene, you don't feel like there's anyone there but the three of them in the boat and maybe you watching and the shark. You're like in it. And the scene when they're under the boat and they're having a pint and they're pissed, and Robert Shaw makes the USS Indianapolis speech. I just think it's one of the great. I think that is probably, as well as like all the shark scenes, but that scene when he talks about that being in the water after the ship went down probably scared me more. The idea of being in the water for a week, and the stories around how he did it, and that he was drunk, did the first take, and then like himself and Richard Dreyfuss, he used to bully him on set, so he created that natural kind of vibe that they have against each other, where Richard Dreyfuss is the nerd and he's kind of the hard man, and I just love that scene, and yeah, that's why he's my favorite character. I think you don't get actors like that anymore he was born to play that role. I think all three of them are. I think Roy Scheider was born to be that laid back chief on the island. He couldn't have been anyone else. Richard Dreyfuss and the kind of rich kid nerd, perfect. And then when I'm looking at it, it's been playing behind you now, and I still get shivers when, like he says, like they're having that big joke about comparing scars, and the two of them start becoming chummy, and he's like, they're going, oh, this one was a treasure shark, or this one was a bull shark. And then he goes, what's that one in your arm? And Shaw goes, that there, Chief, is the USS Indianapolis.
That was a good impression.
Yeah, great.
And he's like, and then and even saying that, you get the hairs in the back of your neck. And what's his name, Hooper, he knows what the Indianapolis is, but Brody doesn't know what it is. So he's like, what's that? And he goes, 1945, June 11th, we were delivering the Hiroshima bomb, and Japanese submarine slams 2 torpedoes into a side, and 1,100 men go into the water. And then after about 12 hours, first shark shows up, tiger shark. It's got 13 feet, and then, you know, sometimes we'd gather ourselves in 10s or 12s, and we'd wait, and we'd start punching and thrashing if a shark came by, and then sometimes he'd look you in the eye, and when a shark looks you in the eye, he's got black eyes, like a doll's eyes, lifeless eyes, until he bites you, and then his eyes roll back in his head, and then you're like, F***, and they were in the water for a week before they get taken out.
At that point, we normally we throw the clip, but it was.
I feel
You've already taken care of that.
Sorry,
No, it's great because it was going to be Robert Shaw doing exactly that speech,
Doing
pretty
a
much
worse-
word for
doing a
word.
worse
Way better.
version of
Cut
that
my
speech.
version and do that.
No, he'll
we're
cock it up,
keeping
that guy.
that was how you actually do it. Now here's Robert Shaw's lesser version from the movie Jaws.
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then... Oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in and they rip you to pieces.
I preferred the in studio one.
Definitely.
It was like being in the front row of a play.
It was actually
Of
beautiful.
Jaws.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could do the whole thing. Like, play the shark.
You're all right. Maybe later. Maybe later.
They haven't made a film of the Indianapolis thing,
No,
have
the
they?
incident. No, I don't think so.
Was there ever talk?
That
I'm
would be
sure
phenomenal.
there must have been,
Because I think we've just found our lead, Hollywood. Right here.
I can play Robert Shaw.
Yeah, but it's there's real kind of tense kind of atmosphere now in studio. So Andrew, what
maintain the tone. Andrew.
what answer did you go for? Which movie character you'd like to?
Okay, in a subtle change of gears. So that was pretty beautiful. Baz. Thanks for that. The
I hope
character.
whatever it is, I hope you reenact it as well.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? So the character that I would most like to play in a movie is Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
Yes.
So perfect.
So I've always loved Home Alone, but that's not the reason why I picked Kevin McAllister. So I've got 3 kids at home, and
I like to leave them home alone. That's it. Yeah.
I love them to bits. I love hanging out with them, love taking them swimming, doing stuff with them. But I love having the house to myself, and I just wish for 5 minutes every day I could just be Kevin McAllister and have the house to myself.
Is that too much to ask?
Is it too much to ask? So that's why I just think he doesn't know how lucky he is. I made my family disappear. I wish. Jokes.
I would love if your kids would be Joe Pesci and what's the other guy's name? They're trying
Marv.
They're trying to get back into the house, and you're trying to keep them out.
Trying to keep your kids out.
Yeah. There's times whenever
Daddy, you're just throwing paint cans at them.
there's times where if occasionally, like once a blue moon, I'm in the house by myself, and I'm thinking, like, if there's noise at the door, I'm thinking, like, it would be less disruptive to have burglars come in and tear the place apart. But you're thinking, like, the kids come in and they get blowtorched in the head and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get out, son!
Throwing bricks off the roof.
Nails on the stairs.
Your 2-year-old.
The whole,
So Jack comes in and he turns the light on, and I smash him in the head with an iron.
pretty much.
Take that, son.
So that's so.
But I need to balance that. I told my wife I was going to say this, and she said, "Make sure people don't think you're a dick." I love them to bits, and I'm just messing.
I think Macaulay Culkin was on about that on Twitter recently, about doing a remake, and he'll be in it at 36 years of age.
Yeah, well, there was talk of remaking the film, which was one of those ones where people were
Yeah.
like, "Don't go near it."
Like it probably is going to be remade just as is without a current age Macaulay Culkin, because that would be a little bit odd.
Blind Boy spoke about it on his podcast where he said it would be too normal because especially in Dublin now so many 36-year-olds live with their parents and
Yeah, actually, yeah.
quite a normal thing to happen.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm a big fan of choosing to be Kevin McAllister in a film and Home Alone.
Yeah.
Plus, it's set at Christmas time. You just get to spend your whole time. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's perfect.
And your own.
Yeah, and a free gas. Amazing. Yeah, that's it. Roy, what did you go for?
Right. I may have overthought this question a little
I
bit.
underthought.
Because like the first thing that immediately came to mind was like, ooh, James Bond or
Indiana
or
Jones or
Batman
something, yeah.
but Indiana Jones, sure. But then I was like, they're always getting shot at, or they're always running away from people who are trying to kill them, and that just sounds exhausting. So I haven't gone with a clip because there's no clip in this film that can be shown on this show.
What, like pre-Watershed? Is it?
Any watershed. Any watershed.
What
So
is it?
can we just get the image up?
Let's take a look at the picture here up on screen. Oh, hello. So everyone who's watching, you get an eyeful of what's going up there. But
So that's-
for the listeners,
That's
Rory,
Catherine Trammell from Basic Instinct, who is a famous and popular writer, which is
Great,
a life
yeah.
goal of mine.
of
Yeah.
course, yeah,
Very rich.
loads of money.
Another life goal. Bones everyone.
Yeah,
Literally bones everyone.
that's
And
another one of your life goals.
May or may
Yeah.
not kill anyone she doesn't like. But gets away with it.
Those are the four most Rory Cashin things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Actually, so that
so-
character suits
and
both
she-
of them.
Doesn't wear underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
If it was a different show, it would be. But the camera was a bit lower. But yeah, no, she's just one of the coolest characters ever. She smokes whatever she wants. She doesn't care. Yeah, like there's a lot of life goals in there. Rich
Yeah.
writer, having a good time. But yeah, I realise now
The
that
boning.
the boning.
The bone. Yeah.
But I realise now it's a slightly different answer to everyone else's answer.
No, it's perfect.
Totally on board.
And I don't know how I haven't seen the connection before between the two.
Yeah, I often get mistaken for Sharon Stone on the street.
It's that white dress you wear around the office every time.
Can you remind me what's going on in that scene? Because it's been years
talk
since I've
us
seen
through
that.
In this one particular scene, she's
Yeah.
been brought in to be questioned about the death of her most recent kind of boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's been found stabbed to death like 72 times with an ice pick. So they bring her in, and she's like, I don't need a lawyer, I haven't done that wrong. And they polygraph her, and she passes and everything. So she's just getting questioned by Michael Douglas and all the other San Francisco police homicide investigators. And she just has the whole room in the palm of her hand. She was like, they're like, you can't smoke in here. She starts smoking. She's like so blazingly honest, like about everything in her life. She's like, yeah, I do drugs and I party and I do whatever I want. I have a good time. And she just makes everyone in the room so super uncomfortable.
And it's roasting as well, aren't they? They're all absolutely boiling and stuff.
Yeah, because they turn up the heat to make it feel like she's being investigated.
Yeah.
But instead, it actually just makes all the police officers in the room like, yikes. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Is that what you were hoping for whenever
Yeah,
you asked the question?
yeah,
This is the kind of
exactly.
stuff, okay?
because
You expect innocence
I was
in
given,
Indiana Jones.
like, we're going to give the viewers a little bit of an insight here, but when we were talking about it off camera, someone was like, oh, I'm going to be Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit popped into my
That was
head
where the
first.
goal was. I was like, okay, is that what we're aiming at?
Yeah. I'm always thinking about Jessica Rabbit.
That's
So
fair.
that was just
Yeah.
like standard email reply.
That's
anyway.
fair.
But I actually went for another answer altogether, and I think I don't know what it says, because I think the answers obviously reveal a lot about who we are as people as well. So if we don't want to put my answer up on screen,
It's
please.
like therapy.
Yeah, definitely. So the answer I've gone for, completely coincidentally,
No
is
way.
Kevin McAllister from Home
Oh,
Alone.
I thought it was Marv.
Yeah, I thought it was Mark. I was like, you're wrecking my peace and quiet.
I'm just
went
always
with Kevin
calling
McAllister
around
as
to your
well.
house. So out of all the characters in every single film in movie history, I went through so many of them, and I settled on, I was like, do you know what? It's Kevin McAllister,
Don't
and for the
believe you.
reasons were, one, a bit of peace and quiet, free house, all the fun with all the gadgets, and just like all the pizza he wants, just relaxing. And again, going back to it's Christmas time all year. If I was living as that character, so I don't know if it's like it's a Nordy thing or what's the
Wow.
we all want to be Kevin McAllister, but we've never had an answer to the big question where two people have picked the same thing.
Wow.
So this is a show first.
Are you two, like, are you best friends now?
Well, I think we're gonna,
You want to come and live Home Alone with me? We get
not
bunk
when you
beds.
ask it like that.
I went to visit that house when I was in Chicago a few years back. As well.
really?
Yeah. And it's nowhere near as big as it looks in the movie. It's a little bit underwhelming.
Were you allowed
So
to
when
get
you
in
were
okay?
when you were younger as well, those houses look huge.
Gigantic.
I've heard a lot of people say on Twitter, like, what did his father do for a living? That
Yeah.
he could afford that house and all his children.
That could afford like 30 people to go on holiday as well.
Every
at
year
Christmas.
for weeks.
Yeah.
I presume you watch that every Christmas then?
Yeah, I like often regularly watch it anytime it's on.
Aye.
I love the second one too, going to New
Yeah,
York.
Lost New York.
Yeah.
There was a third, wasn't there?
I think there was four.
There was four.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get
Straightforward.
We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
No, stick with this one. So Kevin McAllister. I don't have a pic. I've got this clip here. This is whenever Marv is trying to break into the house the very first time, and they're sure that the place is empty. Kevin hears him at the door, and quick thinking, presses play on the videotape and grabs his bangers and a pot, and take it away, Kevin.
Get the hell out of here.
All right, Johnny. But what about my money?
What money?
AC said you had some dough for me.
That a fact. How much do I owe you?
AC said 10%.
Too bad AC ain't in charge no more.
What do you mean?
He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
4 phenomenal answers for that. Well, technically.
Three,
but still 3 phenomenal
Yep.
answers.
Very varied.
So thanks for the big question this week, Baz.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Listen, hey, not about
Thank you for asking.
Thanks, everybody. And Andrew, thanks for being my soulmate.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the big trailer on the Big Reviewski, and each week, because trailers drop these days, they drop. They aren't released or anything. It's like a new trailer has dropped. So, Andrew, you were having a look at all the latest trailers to drop in the past week, but you picked one particular favourite. What did you go for?
Yeah, there was a number of trailers dropped in the past week, and I caught one of them. I caught Countdown. It's going to be released on the 25th of October. So it reminded me a little bit of Final Destination, if you remember that movie from years ago. A nurse downloads an app. The app claims to tell the owner of the phone how long they have to live. So there's a couple of guys that she works with. They've got 60 years, 50 years, this kind of stuff. She downloads it, and it tells her that she's got 2 days to live. So then straight away she says, "Oh, it's fake. It's definitely fake." But she obviously doesn't believe that it's fake. But I mean, this is naive of her, I think, because when I watched it when I was a youngster, I thought this isn't real. But still, before I go to bed, I will have a quick scan of the room. I'll scan for clowns,
Clown scan.
Still to this day.
to
just
this
in
day.
case, okay? And
Your kids outside the house banging on the door. They're
Yes,
looking
there's
for clowns.
I'll blowtorch you. So, the same thing. So, Candyman isn't real, but I'll not be brave enough to stand in front of the mirror and say Candyman 5 times. So, I'm not going to roll the dice, okay?
Nobody's that mad.
But she rolls the dice. She's an idiot, right? So,
She's an idiot.
she's an idiot. She's got 2 days to live. She just goes about her business, and then she finds herself in a creepy, lonely road with 2 minutes to live. I was going, wow, it's fake, but I mean, come on, like, give yourself a chance. Anyway, so actually, I don't think that's her. I think it's the guy who she talks to, his girlfriend.
Oh, sorry, because there's a great line in the
She gets
trailer.
killed.
She's like, it's fake, and he's like, that's what my girlfriend
Yes,
thought.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So then it cuts forward to. Do you remember in Final Destination? They go to. There's always like a specialist.
Yeah.
And it was the same actor that did Candyman in
Yeah.
Final
Oh,
Destination.
yeah, that's right.
So we've gone full circle. Yeah. Just made that realization on the train on the way down. Anyway, they go to this guy, and he's played by PJ Byrne. He was in Green Book, and he was Nicky Koskoff in Wolf of Wall Street. Anyway, I found out a little bit about that.
Yeah, he's the priest in it. In this,
yes, that's right. Yeah,
gotcha.
So, slight tangent. The real Nicky Koskoff, launched a lawsuit against Wolf of Wall Street because he didn't want to be portrayed the way they thought.
What?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
My
I got
acting doesn't
sidetracked.
portray right. Okay.
Yeah, I got
okay.
sidetracked anyway. He said he was a good guy. Anyway, but so anyway, it was pretty cheap and nasty, this movie. I wouldn't bother going to see it.
Oh, okay.
If I'm honest, a cheap giggle. Although, again, drawn on the 3 kids thing, with 3 kids at home, anything to get out of the house, just stuff your face with pick and mix and watch a brainless movie, then this is the movie for you, I would have thought.
Perfect. Okay, let's take a look at Countdown, which is not a big screen adaptation.
Of the
the
word
popular Channel
show,
4.
First thing I thought.
which is the real shame here. Carol Vorderman could have
Who
been
plays
back.
Richard Whiteley? That's what I want to know. She's back. Yeah, they're all back. Rachel Riley, the full panel. Yeah, this is Countdown. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
We're gonna get sued.
Probably.
Our phones have become essential. Apps keep track of our schedules, our fitness, our love lives. But what if an app could tell you how long
I got 63 years.
57 years.
before you die? Would you want to know?
What? 2 days?
This app, it's fake, obviously.
My girlfriend said the same thing. It knew. That app said she was gonna die.
So it's safe to say that Countdown, well, one isn't about the TV show Countdown.
Unfortunately.
That's fine. Okay. It is unfortunately, isn't
Yeah.
it? Somebody needs to make that one and the Indianapolis one. 2 films that Hollywood need to greenlight immediately.
Absolutely.
So, Andrew, obviously you picked Countdown the Traitor, but it's unlikely that's going to be one of your favourite films of all time.
You never know.
Yeah, we have already.
I like that
established-
attitude.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
never know.
That's positive. That's good. Obviously, you do love Home Alone. But again, it's not your favourite film of all time. What is your favourite movie?
Rory, I don't want to get scolded by you,
Okay.
Oh.
Why specifically me?
but because I was going to give some honourable mentions.
Okay.
Oh, because it's multiple answers.
Yes.
Go for it.
I know you're
Okay.
I'm a
strict.
big fan. Break the Rory
Well, I
rule.
suppose Home Alone would have
Special guests.
made it into
We'll
the mix.
make exceptions.
Leon might have made it into the mix.
Amazing. We.
A number of Tarantino ones. Kill Bill 2, I suppose. Strange I know it
Interesting.
wouldn't be considered one of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be in the mix. But
Have you seen the first one?
too much violence for me. But for me, I've gone for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's just, I've watched it so many times, and the big thing that I love about it is how quotable it is. So there's a number of rugby lads actually like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves as well. Rory Best in particular.
Really?
And we would often quote this to each other. I'd say it's probably the movie that I know as close to off by heart as there is, I suppose. And there's times whenever Rory would just throw in at an inappropriate moment, like a tense team moment at a huddle, he would throw in a little Robin Hood one-liner. I was walking out to the pitch one day and I had my boots in my hand and he takes my boots off me and he goes, "No blades, no bows, leave your weapons here." And then it's not just Rory quotes it. There's like mates of mine when we're students would quote Robin Hood quite a bit, and especially the bit where we got into this routine, me and one of my mates, where if he was going anywhere or doing anything, he would always invite me and he would say, "Join us." And I would say, and I obviously got into the habit of knowing exactly what he's getting at, and I would go, "Never," and he would go, "Join us or die." Every time, and he's
Nottingham in that.
yeah. And if it's like we're getting in the car or doing something trivial, that's the scene there actually. We're just seeing behind you. It should never call for as much drama as "Join Us or Die," but anyway, cracks me up.
But it always works.
Yeah, it always works.
So I didn't realize that, because most times when people say, "Oh, this is my favorite film," or "That's my favorite," I didn't realize it actually plays an important role in your day-to-day life as well. And most of your conversations with the people you're friends and work with.
That's what you've been talking about all this time.
Yeah. No, it's a phenomenal film. Are you a big fan of the soundtrack as well? Obviously,
absolutely. I thought Kevin Costner was Bryan Adams.
Easy mistake to make. Yeah.
I thought because the video for the song is like in the forest, and I just when I was a youngster, I thought it was the same guy.
Obviously, it can only be the one
aged?
guy.
How well is this?
Not well. The Painted Man, I don't think would be.
That's the first thing I had on my Morgan Freeman. He got his teeth done since. He looks way better, but
and
what's his name? Christian Slater. He was a dodgy Nottingham character, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Little John?
No, he was...
No.
He was the brother.
Will. He revealed himself as the brother later on.
Not Will Slater. Yeah, he's like, there was a young man from Nottingham who tried to cross the river, slipped on a rope, oh, what a dope, now look at him shiver.
Yeah. And then he confronted Robin Hood and he said, "I know now that our father loved you more than me." Then they had this emotional kind of moment where, "I have a brother." So that was...
Actually, he had a good English accent. Costner
didn't try.
No, he didn't.
Costner went the way of Sean Connery. He was like, "Nope."
Of course, Connery shows up as well.
At the end,
That's right.
King Richard.
As Lionheart. Unbelievable. And then obviously Alan Rickman's just unbelievable.
Amazing. And the White Witch was class as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Aye. But no, great shout. Unbelievable. We'll have to go back and revisit that, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time
see
now.
how badly it's aged.
Remake was terrible.
Well, there's a couple. There was Russell Crowe and then there was Taron Egerton as well.
They were both
neither of which were any good whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this and the Disney one with the fox, those are the two iconic ones. Whenever you were saying Robin Hood, I was like, "Is it the Disney?" That's these ones.
Imagine you picked the same favourite movie as well.
Well, it's the cartoon.
Let's stick it up on screen. No, it's not it. What did you go for, Baz? What is your favourite movie of all time? It's a tough question.
It is, and like when I was thinking about this, Jaws is obviously right up there, and because I didn't want to go with the same answer for the two, I've been thinking a lot lately about, because it made me think about my childhood a lot and my fears, and Jaws kind of tied in with that. I thought about what was a very a movie that awoke me. So I had my sexual awakening to this film, probably similar to what Basic Instinct kind of did for us there.
Yeah.
So
Just waiting.
so it's
That is not the film.
so the answer is Barbed Wire.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. So Pamela Anderson, clearly.
There she is.
There she is in all her glory.
Why did you like that?
Look, it's a complicated question, okay?
Seems plot heavy.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what it's about or what happens in it, but it was a very important film to me in my development. So,
Landmark moment.
Yeah.
A seminal movie.
Yeah.
Really seminal.
So when Pamela Anderson first burst onto our screens on Baywatch, we were 10? I was 10, maybe 9, 10. And we were at 5 o'clock on a Saturday evening. I was allowed to look at this girl in all her glory. And same with anyone that wanted to look at the lads who were all ripped and stuff like that. It was like quite probably inappropriate and stuff, but it was class. And then you wanted to see more, but there was no internet back then. I didn't have Playboy, but I wanted to see more. And then Barbed Wire arrived out, and I was like straight to Extravision, got my dad to rent it. And your parents allowed you to watch stuff like that when you were younger. And then she brought out that sex video with her husband at the time, Tommy Lee. And that was the end of the internet happened, and it just exploded, and it was like
They
everyone in
invented
world
the internet specifically
for that,
for distribution.
Yeah. So it just Pamela as a person played a huge part in my life for my teens, and I just have ultimate respect for her because I think as I've grown up now as an adult, I respect her as a person. She's mad into saving animals and stuff like that, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah, she seems quite sound. She was on Borat. She was hilarious in Borat.
Yeah.
When he was trying to get her in the bag. And this was just one of her movies that obviously, because she was such a badass in it, she Dilbert calls me babe, and she lashes your man with a shoe into the face.
Girl power.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think having a quick read up on Barbed Wire as well, it's set so far in the future. It was set in 2017.
Was it?
Yeah, that's when they said it, like that the world had completely changed.
It did. It was kind
so
of 2017
was their distant point in the future for it. Yeah.
It did have that kind of Black Rain vibe about it that they were trying to do, where it was like doomsday in the future. Wow, look how far we've come. It's grand.
So, have you seen it again recently? Has it
No.
aged better than Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
I prefer to leave it where it is. But when I was researching and just looking back into my childhood, I decided to write a song.
Yeah, researching. They don't want to walk in when you're researching.
I unfolded all those posters that I had on my wall. I just reposted my attic in my house, old Pamela videos or photos. But I wrote a song actually about that experience that I went through, and I'd like to play that for you now, if that's okay.
Okay.
So we've already had a monologue from Jaws.
Yeah.
Where
I
you
thought this is
channeled
what we
Robert
do.
Shaw.
Yeah.
No, this is great.
I thought this is what we do on this show. Yeah.
No,
I'm enjoying it. It's like a variety hour.
Way to see me juggle.
Again, we're
Juggle on roller
again,
skates.
it feels like myself and Roy are here front seat, and somehow
So
Andrew's
this
the
is-
unwitting member of the public who's been dragged up on stage.
Am I going to get serenaded?
Are we all going to swoon?
So this is like a love song for
Barbara.
Pamela.
Okay.
A love song for who?
Pamela.
Oh, for Pamela. Okay.
When I was 11, I fell in love and she broke my heart. She came from heaven every Saturday night on Baywatch. Her name was CJ, a big double D babe. When I was 11, when I was 12, I rented barbed wire from the shop. When I was 12, I used to into my sock. 1 minute 13, I blew when I was 12. When I was 13, Pam and Tommy tied the knot. When I was 13, Pam and Tommy rented a yacht and made a film. I made a DVD when I was 13. And then I interfered with myself for days. I locked myself in my room and I wouldn't come out. My parents would just leave food at the door. And after a while I realized that it was a bit weird, because there's a part where she's looking at the camera and she goes, "Hey kids, this is what your mommy gets to have for the rest of her life." And you're like, what? You're going to show this to your children? And like, they don't even have kids yet, so it's future kids. And that marriage is never going to last, like, because he's in Motley Crue and she's Pamela Anderson, so it's going to be someone else's kids. So then you're like, you're going to show this to someone else's kids? It's like, and I I was thinking, if my parents made a DVD and a whole world had seen it, would I want to see it? Would you want to see it?
You wouldn't want to be left out.
Would you?
No.
Your parents, maybe.
When I was 14, I was walking home from school. When I was 14, I couldn't wait to get home to my room. But when I arrived, my mother had spring cleaned, and my DVD was never, ever, 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 ever seen again. And she never actually mentioned anything about it.
You haven't talked about it?
No, it's just
I
gone.
need to talk about it.
It's just gone.
Well, maybe you should watch this episode. And we can finally get some closure.
I don't think
on
we'll
this.
include it, but yeah, okay.
Childhood.
That was,
Thanks,
wow.
Baz. Thank you.
That
Yeah.
was incredible.
So touching.
Literally.
Baz, that was,
You don't have to show that, but
no.
There will be some editing.
It's been a while. We'll dust down the old bleak machine. we'll get a version right there.
the amount of effort I went into that.
You lifting the
It just
guitar,
goes-
cutting to us clapping. That was great.
First chord and then gone.
We
Transmission
could do
issues.
there could be a like an after dark special.
Oh, 100%.
Leave that out.
The bigger reviews. Yeah. No, listen, that was, I feel like blessed.
The big
privileged.
blue ski.
The big blue ski. We'll take it. Yeah, 100%.
I'm not mad at it.
Wow. Well, thank you for
You're welcome.
talking and singing to us about your
It's
your
my
favourite
fears.
movie.
It's my fears.
Your
My
fears.
fears, lads.
Beautiful.
They're out. It's out.
Myself and now it's time for the next section of the show.
Somehow we've the segue onto the rest of the show.
No, what we had some very quick fire questions. You know, it's kind of we'll fire out a question and you just give us like a one-word answer, whatever pops into your head first. But I'm worried about getting inside your head anymore now, Baz. But so myself and Rory just have a couple of quick ones here. So this is just a way for the Reviewski audience to get to know.
Okay, we're off
the host
camera,
of
are we?
Voice. No, we're on. Always
Okay,
on.
yeah,
Always
sorry.
on.
Okay,
100%.
yeah.
Always
on. Always on. So I'll go first.
You go first.
Okay, so both of you just shout out your answer to each of these. Baz and Andrew, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Shout out.
It's Candyman.
Candyman for you, Andrew? Yeah.
I think Paranormal Activity scared the
first
shit
one?
out of me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Probably couldn't watch it again.
Funniest movie you've ever seen.
What about Bob?
Great shout. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Billy Madison.
What is that? Adam Sandler?
It
One of
is.
his early ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Very quotable as well.
Mr. Penguin.
I see what's going on.
The movie guaranteed to make you cry.
Lion.
Oh yeah, with Dev Patel.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, broke my heart.
Awful.
Don't know if I cried at many movies.
Do you not cry all the time now that you're a new dad? An emotional wreck.
I nearly cried at that song.
Did you?
That was so touching.
Nearly.
God, I can't think.
You shouldn't bottle that up. You got to let someone of it out anyway. Like maybe you let it out in the form of song.
Yeah.
You might cry if you watch Countdown. Not because it's emotional.
Yeah.
Grant,
I'll come back to
we'll come back to it.
Have you seen Lion?
No, what's it about?
It's great. You should watch it.
It'll make you cry.
It'll make you cry.
A cold, cold heart.
Favorite movie quote.
Good. This is our quick fire round.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Just the first one that comes to mind.
Of course I pee my pants. Peeing your pants is the coolest. Son, if peeing your pants is cool, then I'm Miles Davis.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Of course, had to be Jaws. Of course, both quotes from Jaws there. Yeah. In terms of your cinema eating etiquette, what's your cinema snack of choice?
I remember when we were rugby players, we used to have to bring like loads of sandwiches and stuff like that because we had to stay. I had to keep trying to keep weight on, and protein shakes was kind of shite. So when we retired, it was like pick and mix, mixing the Maltesers with the popcorn and big pint of Coke.
Big pint of Coke.
A big one.
Full glass.
Have you got any
in
bigger pints? What do you go for, Andrew?
A pretty straight bat. I'll go for giant chocolate buttons and a Coke. Or if I'm feeling a bit mischievous, I might go across the pound shop across the road, get some toffees, sneak them in.
How do you sneak them in?
Someone told me this.
No one's going to stop
No.
and search Andrew
But
Trimble
sorry.
going to this local cinema. Like,
He has toffees on him.
Yeah, well, I
What
heard
he's
it was
like.
a myth that the cinemas don't care if you bring food in. We always try to sneak them in like we're trying to rob something. They're like,
but they're absolutely, you're fine.
grand.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah.
I think the general rule of thumb is like don't bring in anything that will stink the room out. So don't bring in like a big bag of chips covered in salt and vinegar.
Chinese
Okay.
takeaway.
You can bring in your own sweets.
I mean, they're not the biggest fan of it, but they're not going to stop you. But they will probably take your McDonald's away.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I never went to much bother to disguise bringing them in. I did see a sign, a picture with my face on it with a wanted on top of it.
Of course.
So I thought, right.
It's a bit suspect.
Yeah.
Probably nothing to read into there.
No, it should be fine. It should be fine. Nothing to worry about.
How should we treat people who use their phone in the cinema? What if you see
When
someone
you say use their phone,
like if you see them like
there's a range here though.
that's fair. Let's say we'll go with the range. So let's say they just like they're texting and like it's a full bright screen and it's right there in front of you.
So annoying, man.
Do you say anything to them or you just hope they put it away?
I probably I wouldn't say anything, but it drives me mental. Yeah, if someone is on their phone, because like it's right, if it's anywhere in your vision, you can kind of see it just totally takes from it.
Would you react physically?
I would look over and I would read what they were saying and I would make an assessment of how urgent it was.
Right.
And if it was urgent, if it was like something important, I was careful. That's what I was about to say. Then I'd say you're grand, leave it be. Sorry, Quickfire.
So quick fire.
Well, I just on that one. Last time I was in the cinema, someone 3 rows in front of me, just far enough away from me to not like put the head in. Throughout the entire film, just on Tinder, swiping, like full screen, just like yep, no, yep. I was
Did you consider creating a profile? And then seeing
Immediately
which way they
get
would go?
hates people on the phone. I wonder, were they there on a date? Maybe they were already on like an awful Tinder.
I was
date.
like, this is
Finding
next.
the next one. This is next. This is your shit.
That's a very subtle way of letting them know.
Seeing if anyone in the cinema was on Tinder.
Yeah. What's the worst movie you've ever seen? Have you ever like walked out of a movie?
I walked out of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
All right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Don't. Don't.
Might be for the best.
Yeah.
Just consider it.
Have you ever walked out of the cinema?
Never
No,
walked
only at the
out.
end of the movie.
The Lion King this summer drove me mental, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thought it was just a waste of time.
Okay.
Lost all the beauty of the first one. Like I love the Jungle Book when they did the new one, but they changed the characters. Christopher Walken as the gorilla guy was class or whatever the orangutan. This one's just picked similar actors to do a similar job, but like did a crap job. So
Lost the magic for you.
yeah, did.
Okay.
You stuck with it to the end?
I did. I would never walk out in a movie. I don't think I ever have, but just when it drove me mad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only one I've ever walked out of.
Describe your sex life in a film title, and you can't say Home Alone.
The Parent Trap. Twins. Twins. I'll go twins.
Twins.
Well, I'll take Parent Trap then. I'll take your gag.
You need no other one?
I'm trying to think of another marriage-related movie. 4 weddings and a funeral.
Okay, that'll work. Yes. Oh, and actually, on the most recent episode of House of Rugby, you were saying you're a massive Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, Andrew.
Massively.
Can both of you do your best Arnie impression?
Okay. Selection of one-liners.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper!
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
With me? Don't with me? You're a quiet boy compared to me. You actually are.
I was like,
It's not a tumor.
I'm done.
No, that's perfect.
You're killing
That's, thanks for answering all the questions.
Do you ever see remember the old switchboard you
Oh,
get
yes.
online and you could just press
Oh,
all
yeah,
his
the
quotes?
hotkeys and all.
E-Bombs World, it was
Ringing
called.
my dad. Yes, my dad was in the pub and ringing him and just being like, "I want to talk to your mother. Let me talk to your mother." It's the Detective John Kimball. And he's like, "Lads, I think Aaron Schwarzenegger's on the phone." Like,
We did that at the under-20s, under-21s World Cup. We were staying at the same hotel as South Africa, and they were in like a different. And we called their room, and we were like, "I'm a cop, you idiot! Get to the chopper!"
I thought it was one of their coaches.
They just didn't get it.
Oh, right.
That was the longest lightning round I've ever done.
So sorry.
No,
Really?
really amazing. No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no,
So
it's
much to
phenomenal.
process.
Do you know what? We should probably just even review one film even quickly. Like, just because
I'd
it is.
love
I mean,
I'd love to hear you do it, yeah.
So there's one big major release out this week. It is, of course, AD ASTRA, starring Brad Pitt. And,
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Brad Pitt.
What's he like?
He's very handsome.
Yeah.
Still.
Say.
Yeah, he's looking well for 52.
He was on the show recently for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You can go and check out that interview. It's up in full, up on the JOE YouTube page as well. And from a couple of episodes back, himself and Margot Robbie were on as well. So, but yeah, a lot of hype around this one in particular because ahead of the Oscars next year, and he's famously he's never won one.
Nope.
And he seems to. I heard the other day he's just been talking about. Normally, ahead of the Oscars, the actors and the film's producers, they'll all go on this massive campaign to try and get people or not coerce people, but like encourage them to vote. Yeah, exactly, just to whip up the support. And he's just been like, no, do you know what?
He's over it.
Fine.
He's
It's
like, I'll let
grand.
the work speak
What
for
happens,
itself."
happens. But
That was very much like what he was communicating in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
as well, yeah,
He
that
just
kind of
seemed
attitude.
so chilled
Yeah,
out.
completely laid back. It was those acid cigarettes
Yeah.
he was on.
Yes, that too, yeah.
But yeah, but before we hear Rory's review of AD ASTRA, here's a little look at the film.
I recall how we used to watch black and white movies together, and musicals were your favorite. I remember you tutoring me in math. You instilled in me a strong work ethic. You should know I've chosen a career that you would approve of. I've dedicated my life to the exploration of space. And I thank you for that.
What is happening out there is a crisis of unknown magnitude.
We believe your father may be involved. My father's dead. What exactly are you requiring from me?
Exploration isn't always a noble venture.
I remember we featured the trailer for AD ASTRA as our big trailer whenever it was initially released. It looks phenomenal, just looks gorgeous.
Yep.
Brilliant Irish actress in there as well, Ruth Negga. And she just seems to only pick stuff that is like phenomenally good as well. It's
And
like she
interesting.
Yeah, and interesting.
Yeah.
But so what's the film about, first of all?
Brad is an astronaut, and he is told that his dad, who's Tommy Lee Jones, has been missing and presumed dead for 25 years, who was also an astronaut, is actually maybe not as dead as everyone had been led to believe, and could be alive at the furthest extent of our universe, and maybe firing a very dangerous weapon back towards Earth for reasons that no one's fully sure about. But the weapon's having like catastrophic effects on Earth, and everything electrical is getting completely smashed and ruined. So they figure since he's the son, maybe he could head out there and maybe talk his dad down from blowing the Earth up.
That's quite the task to be set with as well. Nice that he's following in his daddy's footsteps as well. Rory hates the word daddy. Do you call your dad dad or daddy or what? Or father or pops?
Dad.
Dad?
Reasonable.
I call him by his name, Mick.
Mick, right.
Yeah.
Good friends. Hello, older man who lives in my house. Yeah, I go with daddy, so obviously that doesn't
No.
fly.
I
A
do
lot of
wonder
people-
though. I do wonder when my kids will stop calling me daddy and call me dad. That would be a normal transition. Maybe around the same time when you go from Y fronts to boxers. That might be the same.
They're possibly affected.
But
Once
you're still in Y
I'm
fronts.
still in white fronts. Yeah. So maybe that explains it. Yeah. Absolutely. Finished. Yeah. But yeah. So is the hype? is the hype worth it?
Yes and no. Pitt's great. It looks amazing. It's got such a really good sense of like making the world believable. Like you do believe people are living on the moon and on Mars because he's set it up in such a way that it's like it's not like Minority Report where it feels like the sci-fi is so much in the future that you're like, well, it just seems made up. Like he's got it grounded and it's really believable. The problem is that the whole metaphor of the film is that like he's missing his dad. He's still following in his dad's footsteps, obviously, because he's an astronaut as well. But there's like a hole in his heart where his dad's love should have gone, and no one can get close to him because he's never fully understood how to love people properly. And because of that, Brad Pitt is like super cold and distant, which then makes the film super cold and distant. So like you're looking at it, you're like, this is great. I don't really care though, because everything's so icy and clinical, which is just like it was the opposite problem that Interstellar had. Because remember, Interstellar was like, love can travel across the universe.
Yeah.
Love is so powerful, and it was so kind of twee and over the top and super sentimental. Like he actually went into the fourth dimension to talk to his daughter through a book or something.
That's the one that made me cry.
Interstellar made you cry.
Quickfire, bang.
Because that's the first thing I thought. Because like what they did was with the making it quite. How did you phrase it? Where you felt like it was modern Sorry, what did you say there a second ago it wasn't futuristic like Minority Report?
Oh yeah,
Not too far.
Like
in the
it felt
future.
Too far, yeah.
Yeah, believable.
Believable. It was very relatable, I suppose. Interstellar, and I love that about it. But this is way darker, is it? Or
It's very like somber.
Yeah.
It's very taking its time to tell the story. Very, very like it's trying to be emotional without anyone showing any emotions, which is weird. And then in the middle of that, there's like huge Armageddon-y, like sci-fi action set pieces, and you're like, whoa. So the tone of it's a bit all over the gaff, but there's so much to like as well that it's impossible not to recommend it. But I just wish there had been like one bit where I'm like, oh, that's my way in.
Okay,
That's how I can feel for Brad Pitt. Yeah. But like he's great in it, but because he's so cold and distant, he does it too well.
Yeah.
Where you're like, all right, well.
What about Liv Tyler's in it as well?
Barely.
Yeah. But like, because it's interesting to see Liv Tyler in another astronaut space movie.
Yeah.
So shame, shared universe with Armageddon.
There's a clip there with her face is in the camera and it looks exactly like that from Armageddon.
But I like to think it's all the same guys from Armageddon are in this one as well, just in another part of the world. And like Tommy Lee Jones has already gone to space in Space Cowboys as well.
He has, yeah. And Donald Sutherland's in there, who's always freaked me out since Backdraft.
Right.
Did you ever see Backdraft?
I haven't seen it, no.
Creeped me out.
Who was he in Backdraft?
He was
the fire. He played the fire. Yeah, really good.
He was the serial arsonist.
Was it Kiefer Sutherland not in Backdraft? No?
He was as well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
him and his daddy.
I won't talk to you when you like this.
Okay, sorry. How's Ruth Negga in it? Is she good?
She's good too. Yeah, she's not in it much. It's very episodic. Like he goes to the moon, he meets some people. He goes to Mars, and he meets some people. He goes further into space and meets more people, and then he tries to make his way towards his dad, maybe still being alive.
So you think Oscar for Brad Pitt?
I'd say he'll definitely get some attention for Best Actor for this, and Best Supporting Actor for Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it will get a lot of technical stuff as well because it is really nice to look at, and the music is fantastic as well. Actually, there's an awful lot to like.
Love.
Yeah.
And I seen it as well on like the biggest screen I could find, and that helped a lot. And the sound as well was fantastic. I really do recommend it.
Yeah.
I realized I said it's slightly more negative than
it.
I intended it, but there is just I just wish I had expected to cry, and I didn't cry.
Were they afraid of being too like Interstellar? Maybe that they did that.
Possibly, yeah. Like, and again, if you do go see it, there's there's just some stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish you had done this instead of that, because it seems like such an obvious decision to make sure that you do cry, and they steered away from it. So yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, Ad Astra, and I presume you wanted to be Sad Astra then instead.
Brad Astra.
Brad Astra works well.
Yeah.
Dad Astra.
Opal Astra.
Opal Astra. All of these. Can't wait for the entire Astra cinematic universe there as well. So that is released this week. So do go see it. I think I'll go and see that this week. You have to go and see it and Hustlers as well.
Definitely Hustlers.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you seen Hustlers? The Jennifer Lopez stripping movie?
Oh, I heard it's great, yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah,
Oscar for Brad Pitt and Oscar for JLo.
Best stripping.
Yeah, best stripping. Perfect.
Better than Barbed Wire?
The which?
Better than Barbed Wire?
Well, actually, now that you've rekindled that in everybody's imagination, forgot that film existed.
We'll know it's as good if you can come back and write a song.
Yeah, exactly. If you feel moved to write a song about it. Right, it's almost time to wrap up the show. To finish up, it's time for the big competition and this week's High Clue. I want to say a big congratulations to our winners from last week. We have tickets to give away to the Irish premiere of The Goldfinch, which is directed by Irish director John Crowley. Of course, the guy behind Intermission and Brooklyn as well.
Brooklyn made me cry.
Brooklyn made you cry as well.
Do you not cry at Brooklyn?
Yeah, I did. But you know, I cry at everything.
You do.
Yeah.
He does.
So I want to say a big congratulations to Alan O'Donoghue, who bagged himself some sweet, sweet tickets to the Irish premiere of that. I want to say hard luck to Brian O'Carroll, who was so close with his answer. But first of all, do you know what? We'll bring up last week's High Clue very quickly, if we can get up on screen there. So this was Lars and the Mean Girl. Sparks fly between rowing pair, letter writing bird. Now, Baz and Andrew, did you get a chance to look at the High Clue, or like does it make any sense whatsoever, or you both have a bit of a puzzled look in your face? But I can answer any questions you might have at this point.
What's the answer?
What's the answer?
I was about to say except for what's the answer.
I'm not allowed to tell you what the answer is.
No, you can't. Well, as we were saying,
I know,
As in,
Oh,
you
do you
found
know?
out or you worked it out?
You worked it out?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. For anyone who doesn't know at home, the High Clue is basically, it's a 3-line film riddle in the form of a haiku. Japanese haiku, which ties in perfectly with the World Cup. Boom, meant to be. It was always meant to be right here now for this moment. Yes, last week's one, Lars and the Mean Girl, sparks fly between rowing pair, letter writing bird. And Baz, what do you think the answer is then?
I thought it was rowing pair, no?
It can be read either way.
Yeah, that's what.
I
thought that's what you were doing.
No, it can be. It can
we
be
had
rowing
we had
pair
a
as well.
full-on argument about this last week on the show.
I keep double meaning.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
Double meaning. Yes.
They were
The problem with that is that you have to pronounce it both ways.
I know,
they were
but
rowing and rowing at the same time.
Exactly. So what was the answer?
The Notebook.
The Notebook. It was The Notebook. Let's just double check though. Proof.
It's on the screen.
Andrew's face is amazing at this
I've never
point.
seen The Notebook.
Never seen.
So I cried at that, sorry. Jesus.
If we put up the...
You cry a lot. I think I don't cry one time too. I cry a lot.
Here are 8 songs I wrote about The Notebook. If we get the High Clue up there just very quickly, please. Lars and the Mean Girl was a riff on Ryan Gosling's film, Lars and the Real Girl, except in this case it's Mean Girl because Rachel McAdams, his co-lead in The Notebook, is one of the Mean Girls. Sparks fly between rowing or rowing pair, because they're rowing and they're rowing in the film. Sparks fly because of their romance, but The Notebook is based on the Nicholas Sparks novel as well.
Wow.
And then the final line...
He's good at these.
Yeah.
The final line is letter writing bird. Letter writing because I wrote you every day. He writes to her every day of the year. And her evil mammy takes all her letters and hides them. Nasty woman.
What's that lady's name again?
I can't remember.
Actress?
Evil mammy.
Such good evil face.
She really is.
Yeah.
Letter writing bird because his name is Ryan Gosling.
Didn't get that now.
But the key scene, one of the key scenes in the movie, Rachel McAdams pretends that she's a bird. She's like, I'm a bird and you're a bird. Say you're a bird. And he's like, I'm a bird. So there's a lot of bird stuff in there as well. So altogether, the answer was The Notebook.
You're very good at them. Well done.
Well, he also writes them, so he knows the answer.
So that's why I get the answer like that, because I think of the answer first. But as I said, I want to say congratulations to Alan O'Donoghue, but also hard luck to Brian O'Carroll, who was so close with his answer. and he went for the notepad, which is a different form of stationery.
That's the Windows desktop version of that movie.
That's like a rip-off version of the notebook, the notepad. And bonus points to Paul Hayes, who, and I quote, his answer was, "It's a bit obvious when you think about it, but the answer is Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach." So if that's what you're seeing, Paul Hayes, then all more power to you. Happy days. So last but not least, this week's haiku. As I said, we do have more tickets up for grabs for the Irish premiere of The Goldfinch. So send us the correct answer to this on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. It'll be up on Joe as well. But here goes. Pens at the ready. Jewel precedes Jaws. Junior docks raft of escapes, hearts and minds for stones. So that one more time. Jewel precedes Jaws. Junior docks raft of escapes, hearts and minds for stones. For everybody who's listening, Jewel, the first word is D-U-E-L. The middle line, Junior docks raft of escapes. Docks is doc, D-O-C, apostrophe S. And the final line, hearts and minds for stones. Minds is M-I-N-E-S. And did we do a syllable count? Is that? It always has to be 575, like the haiku. So Jewel precedes Jaws. Junior docks raft of escapes. Hearts and minds for stones. 575. Sorted.
Sounds good.
Sorted. That's what I.
Is that what a haiku is?
That's what a haiku is. 575. Yeah.
I explained haiku to him last night.
What did you say?
I said, do you remember in Wayne's World when he goes, Garth, that was a haiku. It's like an anagram. It's totally wrong.
That's exactly it. Yeah, pretty much.
Not a mention of syllables.
Nothing. No.
Nothing. To do it actually
So everyone's going to try and get the correct answer to that. Any idea what it might be?
I know. I think I know it. I'm just gonna keep stone.
Nice. Nice. Would you like to write it down? You're
Not
like, I'd
gonna
rather
ruin-
not.
don't wanna
I'd
ruin
rather
everyone
not write it.
else.
I'd rather keep it right up here. Yeah. No. I think you've scribbled something.
Is that right?
That is the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can I have a look?
Sure you have.
You can win the tickets
cool.
as well if you get the right answer. You can go into the competition. Listen, that's pretty much it for this week. It's been an
It's been a roller coaster.
Mix of everything.
I have to go lie down for a
We're
while.
going to be in the edit studio for a couple of hours, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. I want to say a massive thank you to Rory, to Jermid and Paul behind the scenes as well, Ian for the beautiful set build. Thanks to our sponsors, Omniplex Cinemas as well. But I want to say especially thank you so much, Baz and Andrew, House of Rugby. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, lads.
Yeah.
When are you going to have us on House of Rugby? Because we have to cross-pollinate the
Absolutely.
sports nerds.
We have to fertilise the sports nerds.
We've got a live show tonight, so you'd be welcome to come along.
Yeah.
I'm there, 100%. Rory?
No, I was blanking on them saying no.
Sorry, there's no room.
When
Not even for one of you.
there'll be a film made about Ireland winning the World Cup, and we'll get you on to review that.
Can I just say, I like rugby as well. Is that allowed? No, I can only stick to movies.
Just one or the other.
Oh.
Make up your mind.
Okay. Don't forget to subscribe to both shows, but if you're picking one, this one. Okay. See you next week. Bye. I do a giveaway, sure.